Hey guys, Chris here. So this is another silencer video, and I wanted to show it to you guys because as my machining skills, get further and further, which I recently ordered a CNC machine. So I'm gonna have a CNC milling machine, and for all you guys that asked me about my Pantera front rail, I'm gonna show you a serious Pantera front rail in about a month. It's gonna take a couple weeks to get here and then a week to set up. By the time I do all that and then I design it on the software, and then make a couple to as prototypes, I'm gonna make an entire new front rail. I'm not gonna use the old rail at all. I'm gonna machine a brand new rail for the Pantera based on the measurements and the original one. But so my machining has come a long way with suppressors. This one is completed. This is the old Trident moderator, and matter of fact, if I find my phone, I'll show you what I did on the inside, but it's almost identical to this. So I, like most other people, like the look of the Donnie FL Fatboy, but I don't like the Donnie FL. I feel like they do a lazy job of the inside of a silencer. Impulse, I think, does awesome, and actually the Trident, I wouldn't have even done that to if it wasn't for the fact that I shot it out of a gun that had the threads not straight that I did and destroyed the inside, and then I made a new inside. So this is what I've been doing. So this is a solid piece of aluminum bar stock, and I've been machining my own baffles out of one solid piece, and then I used the same original piece with the same gaskets, and then that goes through the shell. And then I machine the baffles, and then I put holes in them, and I made the couple in the front a little bit longer, and then I aluminum welded it to the original parts, and then you slide this over, and I'm still going to put some felt and screening on it, and it looks just like a Fatboy, only I guarantee you this will have a lot lower decibel level. So I'm going to show you really quick because I don't want to make a crazy long video. But I'm already getting ready for the CNC machine. They're shipping it out next week. So if you guys want to see what it is, it's an MR1. That's what it's called, MR1 CNC machine. It's a 3.5 horsepower spindle, 4 foot by 4 foot working area, full enclosure. I mean, that's optional. I got all that stuff, liquid cooled. And I'm going to add to the cooling system when I put it together, because once you cement it, you can't change it. So I'm going to definitely do it right. So I had a video of me doing the other moderator in full, or at least a good portion of it. But I think I deleted it by accident before I posted it. So that's why I'm trying to show you guys what I'm doing. So I did it here on the lathe. And this is the last piece of bar stock from a piece like this. That's what I started with. It's 2-inch thick, and that did the inside of this and the inside of the Trident. And the Trident is almost exactly the same. So this is just solid aluminum, and I drilled through the middle, or I drilled through it first with a regular drill bit, and then I go through it with a boring bar. Like, I moved my whole other toolbox over here so I'd have enough room for the tools for both the lathe and the CNC. So here's all my tools for. I just finished doing this today. I'm just preparing for setting this thing up. Son of a bitch. And I'm going to run my 220 wire. So this is a boring bar. This would go in the aluminum stock or whatever you're using. You can do steel or toolbox steel or cold rolled, hot rolled, whatever kind of material you want on both this lathe and the CNC that I have coming. So I would use this boring bar to hollow out the middle after that. Depending on how big you want to go, you can go as big as you want. And then you can thread it on here. I even have a part for it that you can tap the threads with a regular tap and a regular die. So that's this piece right here, which I'm actually going to move. into that toolbox now that I have some more room. Okay, so this is the part that goes like where the live center is. So it would go where that back part is there. See if you can see it. Yep. All right, so where this back part is. So there's another piece, I'll show it to you and I'll actually put it in. There's another piece that goes there that will go into this. Did I put it up there somewhere? Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, so this would go into here, and there's a set screw, and then it goes into here, and then this is so you can hold it while that is turning, and this can move forward and backwards, and it will make your threads, tap your threads. And now for outside threads, you do them with these. These hold your like this. So these hold this. But actually it would probably be this mid-sized one. No, it would have to be the large one. That wouldn't fit in the mid-sized one. So I would just have to tighten those screws down all the way. Or maybe if I open these screws off, no, I don't think it will even fit in there. No, it won't. But yeah, so I'd have to tighten actually use longer screws to get it to hold that. Because that's not the right size. I don't know how I would have to use this one. This size is just not conducive to that. But anyways, I haven't done outside threads with it, but there's really no need to. I got this more for the inside threads. It came with the outside threads because it's just much easier than changing all the settings on the lathe. But when I need to, I can. But the outside threads are much easier to do because you just use a thread tool, which is something like this right here. You can see the groove in it. If it focuses in. So I would use something like that to do that. And so real quick, I'll show you the Pantera with, I don't have any standard Donnie FLs left. I've modified all of them. Except, no, I do have one that I only lightly modified. I added more insulation and, more insulation and more felt and tessitate. But I can show you that one. I'm going to use the decibel meter, and I haven't even shot through that moderator yet. So we're going to experience this together for the first time. This is the one that I did last of the Donnie FL/FX ones, and I made aluminum baffles and tack welded them on. See, I just made those out of metal, aluminum sheet metal. I just, hole saw drilled those out, and then I cut them in half, and then I re-welded them together on the bar that was in there already, and I machined the bar down a little bit. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the front off, cut the back off like I did on the other one. I'm going to machine a part that's exactly that length, that's going to be in a skinnier bar stock like this. I'm going to use a piece of this because that's about the right diameter. See? So that'll fit right inside here and leave a little room to wrap a piece of felt and wire. So this is going to turn into the inside of this. I will record that. I'll show you guys exactly how I did, because that's how I did all of them, and I'm getting better at it, and I'm being able to do it a lot faster and a lot more efficiently and a lot more accurately. So the measurements are dead on, the center is dead on, because I got a few tools like this that goes right on the lathe. Let's see what you guys can see. So you see I welded on a bracket for this. So this tells me how much movement I have in the actual chuck. And when I can adjust this up and down, so it can go all the way down here, and it's so sensitive. Watch, it takes such a little movement, and it just went around like 5 times. It goes around so fast. That's doing like full circles, so it can move quite a bit. And this is to tell you that it's moving in a perfect circle. And I can also I have a magnet that I can put this right on the work. to make sure that that's moving in a perfect circle. And then also, more than that, I have another device that you hook up to this, and you put it in the chuck as if you were going to work on it. Where is that? Where did I put that? This right here. You put this in the chuck, and then this piece will go right onto your bit, right? So from that being in the middle of the chuck to that being on the bit, that tells you if the bit is dead center for where you need the bit to be. So, and then also there's the micrometer, and then there's, you know, this drawer is all full of stuff that's for that. This gives you exact angle right here, and this is a digital one. I have an analog one as well. And as you turn it, you get the exact angle. I don't know if you guys can see the number. It doesn't light up, but that will show you the exact number of your pitch. And then I have a manual one of those as well, like this. And then the most frequently used one, and then these are to measure how many threads. When you're making threads, those are to measure how many threads there are in metric and standard. But this I use more than anything. So this will tell you exactly how many degrees you're off. You know, you put this until you're dead center, until you're 0.0 or 0.1. You know, 0.1 is pretty much close enough, but you don't want to be more than 1/10 of a degree off. So that all those devices, you know, when I get into something, I tend to get all the way into it, which with air guns is a perfect example, because I've gone as far as to start making my own bullets, start machining my own silencers, because I can't find other people out there. Which the Impulse is a phenomenal moderator. That guy's a machinist. I can tell by the work, and I haven't even met him. So that's for sure a machinist. And then here's like a bigger chuck for the oh no, that's just a plate chuck that you can put anything to. This is a 4-jaw that are individually tightened, so you can put square work in there or whatever. And then in here I have a big chuck I just got. So that's a 3-jaw self-centering chuck, but it's a very large one. That's a 9-inch chuck. So, and this machine's got the power for it. This machine's 220 volt, 2 horsepower motor, and it's belt driven, but it goes to show you the spindle on the CNC is 3.4 horsepower. So that can machine titanium. It can do toolbox steel, aluminum, obviously, like a breeze, but it can machine titanium, which that's the only thing I'll have that can actually machine titanium. I don't even know if my bandsaw will go through titanium, but I'll be able to make things out of it. And I'm going to be making my own car parts and stuff like that as well. So let me set up the decibel meter. I'm going to use the Pantera for every silencer just to make it fair. And that's the modified Donnie FL that I just showed you. You saw it modified. So I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use the standard, the one that's the most standard that I have. Oh, let's see, let's tighten that up here. I'll put you a little further back. Let's see, and then of course I got to reposition that again. I'll set up the decibel meter, and then I'm going to get a couple other silencers. Okay, so I have, this is the Impulse. This is the larger Impulse. This is the Donnie FL Fatboy with the muzzle brake that I modified heavily. This is the Trident that I modified heavily, which I think they have about the same volume because of the flip compensators and the thickness versus the length. And then this is the most standard Donnie FL/FX silencer that I have. All I did is add the insulation and the Tessa tape, so it's a little bit more heavily insulated. And I'm gonna leave this one the way it is because I need something to compare my other silencers to even the further I go. And as you can see here, I got the smaller impulse, and I bought a muzzle brake. And what I did is I used a 30 caliber end piece from the Impact, you know, the threaded end piece for the inner and outer barrel. I tapped the threads into the last one of these. I tapped it into this because this was a half by 27. I made it a half by 20, and then I threaded that in between the two, and the muzzle brake works perfectly. It actually made a pretty big difference, honestly. So let me see. I'm going to position this in the same place. These are all my new breakers, a couple of double 20s to make room for the 2-pole 50 that I'm going to use for the CNC, and the 2-pole 50, which was surprisingly expensive. The 2-pole 50 was like $40. I mean, wiring's got so expensive. I didn't think that the freaking breakers got that expensive too, but they have. Just give me 1 second. This thing needs new batteries. I didn't realize that before I started the video. Sorry about that. I'll be brief. All right. Luckily, I have all rechargeable batteries. Too bad this thing can't be mounted on a tripod. Well, I'll make a way for it to mount onto a tripod. I just haven't done it yet. Haven't thought about it until right now. But this channel is all about like showing you guys how to do this stuff and be self-sufficient. I mean, I know not everybody can do it like this because, you know, I mean, things are expensive, but honestly, I'm a humble guy. I'd be happy to help anybody. You guys reach out to me, I'd be happy to help you make one of these silencers. I'd be happy to show you how to make it, because, you know, I didn't know how to do all this stuff at one point, and I didn't have all this stuff at one point, and I'm happy to see other people do well. I genuinely am. So if I can help with that, I'm more than happy to. So anybody can reach out to me anytime, and if I can, I will. I'll help you learn how to do it. I'll help you do it. Whatever it is. All right. So now that's set to maximum, so it'll record the maximum sound that it gets. Let's do the Donnie FL first. It looks so dumb on the Pantera. That's why I had to get a bigger silencer for it. Turn yellow, let's move that. Oh, that's not gonna stay there. That's a pretty good reading, 87. Same hole. Very accurate, 87.3, so that's not too bad. Now we're gonna reset it, and I'll do the Trident, which is heavily modified. This is the exact same thing as the Donnie FL one is, what I just showed you. On the inside, it's just longer. And there's actually no felt around that. And there's no felt around this one either yet. These breakers are not a very stable platform. You know what, let me find something better. That's not gonna work. Let's see if this little tripod will hold it for now. There's nothing to screw it into, but I'll change that in a hurry. I did just cock it up. No, I didn't. $87. So I can tell you here, that made a dramatic difference. And I don't know if you guys hear it in the video. These are some high quality microphones. These are Sennheiser. So they should pick it up pretty well. I don't know exactly how they are because I haven't heard it yet, but these are very good microphones, very expensive microphones. So hopefully you guys are getting the sound effect. All right, so let's put this back on max and let's see what we get. That sounded a little louder than the Trident. No, it's actually quieter, damn. Just a different tone. There we go, that one was 88.3. I wish I could keep it still because the movement is making changes in the sound. Let me see something. If I could tap that in right now. Like manually tap this thing into that hole. See, this is just the kind of person I am. I do everything myself. And I do it like right then. I impulsively bought that CNC, or ordered that CNC machine, and told my fiance about it, and she's like, "What? You didn't talk to me about it?" Which I really should have, and I was like, "Babe, you know I'm impulsive. I'm sorry. I meant to talk to you." And not that, I mean, I make most of the money, but she's actually making good money now too. She's a nurse, so very proud of her. She just graduated nursing school. She's a badass. Well, I guess it's not going to be quite that easy to tap it that I could do it right on the spot right now, but I really wish I had a better place to put this. Maybe putting that down like that will help. Let's try it. Every movement is, see, that movement was higher than some of the compensators. You gotta be kidding. Oh, I'm low on air too. Oh, fucking cord. And guys, I honest to God, yes, I'm going to be shooting for stud mag loaders, but I swear by these magazines. I really do. They are perfect. They are such flawless movement. It's just unreal. It really is. Oh, great. I grab an empty tank. You got to be shitting me. This one is most certainly not empty. And this is shooting 25 caliber 50 grain slugs. So I'm sure the sound went up. Yeah, that's already higher than some of the moderators. So just some of the noise you can make, especially because I'm in a small room. I'm in a huge building. It's 10,000 square feet, but I'm in a small room of that building. And the echo in the small room makes a big difference, but it's equal to all the moderators, and there's no outside ambient sound having any effect. Okay, 90.1. That sounds damn good though. I like the sound of that. Okay, I'm gonna actually redo the other one too because I think I might have changed the way it's measuring from where this is. Let's turn the max off and then back on. And you know what? Let's do the impulse real quick. Okay. That's pretty cool. Oh, well, it's 93. Let me do a couple shots with it. Yeah, 93. I mean, this is a great moderator as it is when you buy it. I just am a fanatic and have to modify everything until I get it to be the best it can be. And plus, I like to have everything be made by me. I like to make all my own stuff. Like, for instance, on my car, I do all my own work. Can I afford to pay somebody to do it? Of course I can, but I wouldn't have the peace of mind of knowing that I torqued every bolt to spec, I Loctited every bolt. Yeah, this Trident is 75. This thing is serious. $89. So it's a little bit variable, apparently. So let's do one more with the original Donnie FL, and then I'm going to finish this one off because I'll show you why. This has to be machined down just a little bit because, see, it's got a little bit of play from there to there. Just a little bit. So I'm just going to take the back piece off, and I'm just going to sand down that little hair of aluminum that's sticking up. That's all that is. I'm going to sand that right down, and then I'm going to do some felt and some wire net, and that's going to be a done deal. I'd like to see how quiet it is then. All right, so we're going to try the original Donnie one again. Eight and 9. I'm getting a little low on air again. I got this thing tuned up pretty high because it's shooting 50 grain 25 calibers at like 1020, 1030. So it's jacked up pretty high. I got the heavier duty valve rod in it though, and the tungsten hammer, and I got a lot of internal stuff done to it. Oh, I also machined my own pin probe. I took a 30 caliber pellet probe and I turned it into a slug probe for the Pantera. I'll show it to you. I machined the bottom of it. Instead of being for an impact, it's now for a Pantera. I haven't used it yet, but I had everything else to make this a 30. So I figured, why not make the probe and be able to make it a 30. And I will try that. All of these compensators can handle a 30 caliber also. '86, this one sounds good. I like the sound of it, but it's, see, it makes more noise when it falls over because it's right on the mic. Shit. '67. Jesus. It was louder when I started talking. When I finish with this one, this is going to be a top-notch moderator. But I will do another comparison when it's completely finished. And honestly, when I mean it when I say it, if anybody needs help doing something like this, listen, I didn't always have the means to do this. I didn't always have the opportunity, and I sure as shit didn't have people like me that were